to Investor Schooling Live, coming to you from Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Phil Falcone here with my business partner, Larry Steinhaus. We are founders of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate investing and stock option trading. You can call us anytime during the show with your questions at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. That's right, we're a live program. So you can call us anytime during the show, and we'll take your calls. Don't worry about what we're talking about. We love to take your calls. Investor Schooling is located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, serving the Philadelphia area in a real brick-and-mortar building. We are local guys, accessible to our students, a minimum of 2 nights per week. Learn this business, the business of real estate investing, stock option trading from people who live it every day. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about real estate investing, stock option investing. We make money when we buy. Private lenders. We're going to be talking about private lenders. We're going to be talking about the state of Oregon. We're going to be talking about buying businesses. We're going to be talking about rents that are at an all-time high. Education. And if you're the best musician in the band, you'll need to find a new band. So what's happening?
To find what?
What's happening,
the best
Larry?
musicians in a band, you need to find a new band?
That's right.
I am so confused by that one. I didn't
think
expect
about
you...
it. Think about it for a second.
Well, I guess you got a point there, but somebody's got to be the best. I look, Freddie Mercury was the best musician in Queen.
He was a singer. Wasn't a musician.
Well, that's true. He wasn't. He was a singer. That actually makes sense.
Yeah, I heard that quote and I liked it, and I thought we could talk about it.
Well, that's actually we are talking about it. But I have a question for you first because I'm a little concerned about you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
All right. So, for those of you who don't know, Phil had some knee surgery this week, and I had to pick him up this morning to take him to the studio. And when he got out of the house, he had an expression on his face that made me really nervous. Like he looked like he was in some serious pain. Joe's actually online. He's asking you, how is the knee?
I'm good, Joe. Thanks for asking.
All right. So, by the way, if you guys are online, you could comment on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. You can also give us a call at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. If you want to ask Phil how he's doing, feel free to do that because I'm sure he'll be very happy to know that you care about him. Well, especially Joe.
I'm also holding a very new copy of Money Hacks by Larry Steinhaus.
Well, thank you, man. That's pretty awesome.
Because everything you think you know about money is wrong.
Yes, it is.
Interesting.
Let's show that off to the audience over here. It goes. I don't know if you guys can see it online, but it's my new book. It's Money Hacks. And it's because everything you think you know about money is wrong. You can get it wherever books are sold. And if you'd like, go to barnesandnoble.com. You'll actually be able to see a bunch of people who have put up some comments about the book. So I got 9 5-star reviews already, and the book just came out. Actually, it's not even out yet, to be honest with you. It's actually not even out yet. It's funny. These guys they're all confused on the cameras. One of the cameras just went bad, but that's all right. So anyway, Lou says, "Where's my copy?" You have to order it, and I don't know who else is online. By the way, if you're online and if you're in any other sites, sometimes we can't see who you are, so I apologize. 855-939-1137, and you can ask us anything. We're all over the place here, Phil. Where do you want to go next?
Well, I want to ask you a question about the title.
Sure.
So, give me another word for hacks.
Money ideas, money thoughts, money, I don't know, processes, money, I don't know.
Okay, because hacks is not like a word I really use.
Yeah, well, it seems to be. It's kind of weird, but it seems to be one of those words that's a millennial word now. You know, it's definitely a 2022 word.
Hey, Pedro, what's the definition of hacks?
A shyster.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't.
He sounds like a mafioso shyster.
Oh, what a coincidence.
All right. All right. A bunch of people saying hi online. Appreciate that, of course. And if you guys want to call in, 855-939-1137. All right. What do we want to talk about first, Phil?
Well, let's let everybody know that we're going to be on Saturday at 10 a.m.
Saturday at 10 a.m.?
Yes.
Isn't that now?
It is now.
Isn't that annoying that we keep getting our time changed?
We just get no respect. We're like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, exactly.
We get no respect from the people at 1210 and Susan. I hope you're listening.
Yeah, our rep, keeps changing our time on us because of, obviously, March Madness is on now, so we're going to be on here till what? We're going to be on here till at 10 o'clock till, I think, April. Speaking of April, April 24th, that I'm telling you right now, everyone wants to sign up right now because the price is about to go up. I landed a very famous person to attend that event, and he confirmed. I'm not saying
Donald Trump?
No, very close. Actually, this guy is actually friends with Donald Trump. So I landed a very famous person to attend this event. He's very politically connected. You'll actually really enjoy it. And right now, if you go to number4mmw.com, the number4mmw.com, you can actually sign up for that event. And I'm telling you right now, I'm raising the price because of this guy. So just so you know, right now it's $197. You can fill it the entire day. It's at the Washington Crossing Inn, and you can have lunch and breakfast for $197. So I'm telling you right now, I register right now because if you don't register now, the price is going up. All right, I just want to let you know that.
So I've been looking into this cast of unusual characters called millennials. And I've been watching some videos specifically for millennials on YouTube about real estate. And you know what they're all waiting for?
What is that?
They're waiting for the real estate market to crash.
Yes, they are. I'm waiting for the real estate market to crash too.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about waiting for the real estate market to crash?
Well,
I
look,
think
you're big on predicting things, so
I think the real estate market is going to crash. I just think they're making a mistake waiting for it.
Elaborate on that.
Well, so the question, it's funny because we always get that question, when is the best time to buy real estate? And I will tell you, the best time to buy real estate is now, is the answer always. It's just a matter of what kind of deal you get. So now is the answer always. Sorry, it's words. Now is the answer always. It's always the best time to buy real estate. And all you have to do is know how to identify a good deal. You say, I know we talk about this, you make money when we buy, right? And that makes sense because that's the next topic we want to talk about. We kind of can put them together. You make money when you buy. You're absolutely right. But it doesn't really matter. Hey, Phil, would you take $1 million for it? By the way, Phil's house is not worth $1 million. I just don't want to confuse everybody. But would you take $1 million for your house right now?
Of course.
Of course, right? So, but what if I gave you $1,000 a month for 1,000 months?
I wouldn't do that.
Well, of course you wouldn't, but you might, depending on who you are. But that's $1 million for the house. So I don't really care what I'm paying for the house. What I really care is that I'm paying $1,000 for the house a month. And if I could rent that house for $13,000, $14,000 now, I could probably rent that house for close to $3,000 actually, because it's amazing what's going on with rents. And again, we'll talk about that too. What's going on with rents is amazing too. So you just have to keep looking at the whole deal, look at the whole perspective, and you will be able to make more money because you know how to make more money.
So what you're telling these millennials is they need an education on real estate, on stock options, whatever it is they want to do. And they don't necessarily need to wait for the market to crash. They just need to find a good deal.
They just need to find a good deal, exactly.
And then they'll make money when they buy.
So then what do you think the next question they ask is?
Not sure.
How do you find a good deal? Right? Isn't that funny, right? So here's how you don't find a good deal. You don't find a good deal by sitting at home and searching Zillow. That's not how you find a good deal. And we have people come to us all the time. Yeah, I've been looking for deals on Zillow and I can't find any. Well, of course you can't find any. Anything on Zillow is on the MLS. It's already it's being broadcast out to thousands of people. You want to find houses that are not for sale.
And you don't find a good deal working with a realtor who doesn't even own an investment property.
Yeah, who doesn't even know what a good deal is. My favorite is, if you buy this property right now for $200,000, it'll be worth $300,000 sometime in the future. That's real estate investing. No, that's not real estate investing at all. That's speculating, and it's really a bad way to buy real estate. There are people who buy real estate, they think their primary residence is an investment property, and it's not. The primary residence is just someplace you want to live. That's another one. It's like, I'm going to get a good deal on my primary residence. No, just find the house you want, live in it. Don't worry about it. It's a liability anyway. You get really lucky when you sell it later on for more money than you paid for it, but it has nothing to do with an investment. An investment property is a property that makes you money, typically or most of the time from day one.
We make money when we buy.
There you go.
Yep. There's a whole lot of strategies that we teach here at Investor Schooling. We call them creative financing. And if you don't understand these things, you need to get your butt to Investor Schooling, 7 p.m. this Thursday night, and we'll talk to you a little bit about these creative financing strategies that can change your life.
So I did a whole thing the other day on all the different ways to do a subject to deal and make sure that it works perfectly. So I actually did a 2-hour presentation the other night on that. And subject to, for you guys who don't know, is basically taking over someone else's mortgage payments and taking their house. And you can do that.
And why did you have to do a 2-hour presentation?
Because you had some kind of, you weren't here. Where were you? What's wrong with you? You didn't show up.
Yeah, I didn't show up. And the guy that I brought in for my replacement didn't show up either.
I know.
Right.
Well, Phil was out with surgery, so we'll excuse him this time. A lot of times Phil doesn't show up, and we have no excuse. Now, Phil always shows up. I shouldn't say that.
Well, pretty soon I probably won't show up, but I'm still hurting pretty bad.
Yeah,
But,
I can see it in your face, man.
yeah, I'm hurting.
So you guys, just so you guys know, Phil is here in pain to talk to you about how to buy real estate and stock options. So call him up and say thank you, Phil, because it's just not right that you guys aren't paying attention to him. 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Call up and wish Phil to feel better, I guess, right?
So let's talk about the state of Oregon.
The state of Oregon?
Yes, they just recently passed rent control in the entire state.
Wow.
Right. What do you think is going to happen next?
What do I think is going to happen next in Oregon?
I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is there are tons of REITs, real estate investment trusts,
Sure.
that have billions of dollars and would go around and buy apartment buildings all over the United States. And they're going to definitely avoid Oregon
Sure.
immediately.
Yeah.
So I think it's incredibly stupid.
Well, politicians and investors are absolutely on different pages. Politicians make their money by getting, by getting whatever, skimming off the top. You could say it, but through other ways, however they want to do it, and investors make money investing. So these guys absolutely are on different pages. So if you make the entire state of Oregon rent controlled, you're right. And actually, you do realize that they hurt more people with rent control than they help. And here's what happens is somebody moves out of that house, and there's no rent control when they move out. It's only rent control to how much they can raise the rent. So when people move out, the new people start moving in, and all it does is actually create the same situation as, I don't know, these people calling gentrification a problem. By the way, gentrification is never a problem. I never understand why people think gentrification. Gentrification is when you take an old neighborhood that's run down and beat up, and then you make it beautiful again. How do you make it what? Beautiful again? I just want you to do your commercial.
Beautiful.
There you go. So that's gentrification. And by the way, for you guys who are anti-gentrification, I just want to make sure you understand one thing. If it wasn't for gentrification, you'd still be living in a cave.
When I was in Sedona last week for my anniversary before I went to surgery, and this real nice older couple sat next to me. I like older people. I like talking to them.
Wait, you're pretty old yourself.
I'm 56, so...
Oh, actually, I'm older than you then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started talking to the guy, and I said, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. They said, where are you staying? I said, I'm staying in an Airbnb. He says, Airbnbs are very controversial around here.
Controversial? Why did you say, did he explain?
Well, yeah, because transient people,
Right.
Okay, so if you go in and rent a house for $2,000 a week, that usually means you've got excess funding. You're wealthy.
Yeah.
You can easily afford to go pay $2,000 a week to live in a house. But to this guy, all he could see was negativity.
Well, he probably saw the negativity in people buying buildings, and instead of them living there, them renting them out to Airbnbs. But I never understood that either. I mean, it's the same thing when you go into a complex where, let's say, it's just 300 houses in a complex, like townhouse complex, and the association only allows a certain amount of them to be rented.
Yeah, they have like a percentage that they're allowed to be rented.
Yeah, and do you know why, by the way?
No.
So here's the answer to that, and because most people don't understand why they do it. It's not the association being jerky about it. It's actually the government once again putting their nose in people's business It's FHA funding is the problem. So if you're, and I don't know what the current statistic is, they changed the percentage, but I'm just going to throw this number out. And again, this is just an example. If the government says that only 30% of the units can be rented in order to qualify for an FHA loan, so in other words, somebody else moving in there buying a house will no longer be able to qualify for an FHA loan if there's more than 30% rentals in that complex. And I believe the number is close to 30%, but I can't remember the number. However, so there's the government restricting how many rentals because the association, it's a whole, it's 300 homeowners. They want to make sure that they can sell it to anyone and everyone so they can get the best price for their house. So if you eliminate all of the FHA buyers, then you have less of a buying pool. Right now, it doesn't really matter. But when housing is normal, FHA buyers are good buyers. They're usually the first-time buyers who come in, and if they can't buy the house, then you have to sell it to other people.
The only building I ever owned that had that issue was I used to buy condos at the Meadowwood condominium development. It was originally built as an apartment building. It's right across the street from the LA Fitness in Warrington, if you're familiar with it. And, when I started buying in there, that's when I first came across that issue. And they were right up against the limit, whatever it was. Yeah. I thought it was higher. It was like 48% or something.
Yeah, whatever the numbers. I just can't remember.
Yeah, whatever the numbers are. Yeah, right. And, and after a while, I just stopped buying them there because of that limitation. Yep. But, it's stupid. Why would you want to restrict one of the most affordable places? So these are small little condos that you could get, at one time when I was buying them in the early 2000s, I think they were selling for like $100,000.
Yeah, I also wonder about the legality of that, of having someone say, you can't rent it. I guess there's the association rules are pretty strong, but can you actually say to somebody, hey, I own a place, I'm living there, now I'm moving, I can't sell it, I want to rent it, and then the association tells me I can't rent it because we've hit the limit. I'm concerned about the legality of that, but I'll be honest with you, I'm going to tell you right now, you do whatever you want, but the absolute best thing to do is just not tell the association you're renting it.
I agree.
And that's the way you're going to get away with it. And also, there's another way to do it, too, which is if you do a lease option to the person renting it, it doesn't matter what the lease option price is. You just have them sign a piece of paper as lease option. They actually have equitable interest. So now, technically, they actually own it. Or they own a piece of it. Or they own a future value in it. And what that does is it makes it... I'd like to see the association who sees that and questions it and wonders what to do with it, and they have to run it by their attorneys. I have fun with attorneys, that all the time. I want to see it happen. So far, it's never happened to me. I haven't had a problem with it yet, but I'm curious to see what will happen.
Well, I've come across some really nasty HOA managers.
Oh, me too.
One time I got a call from one at Green Meadows. You familiar with Green Meadows?
Isn't that in Souderton?
I can't even remember the name of the town anymore, but yeah, it's up there.
Right.
Right near Souderton, right? And the manager of the association called me up and said, you got a real estate sign for sale out front here. You're not allowed to do that. I said, okay, well, I'll come and get it. So I told her I'm coming to get it. I got there. She had thrown it in the dumpster.
Really? Did you call her up and say, hey, you're going to pay for my sign now?
I couldn't find her office.
Yeah, because that's actually illegal. I mean, she could take the sign and put it in her office, but throwing it out is not a good idea. Yeah. That actually brought me to something, and I forgot. By the way, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. I'm Larry Steinhaus. That's Phil Falcone, and we are Investor Schooling. And if you want to go to investorschooling.com, you can sign up for a class this Thursday night, learn about real estate investing, learn about stock options trading, and learn about everything that has to do with money. Because I guarantee you that everything you think you know about money is wrong, and that's the subtitle to my book. And if you want to go to look at the book, go to Larry Steinhaus, look up Larry Steinhaus Money Hacks, and you can pre-order the book. I promise you will like it. And by the way, did you know that my accountant said that book is probably tax deductible?
How?
Because it's giving real estate advice, and if somebody buys real estate the same year they buy the book, they actually can write the book off.
The people who buy your book, it's tax deductible, but it's not tax deductible for you.
For me to buy the book? No, it's not tax. No, yeah. I mean, it's taxable when I sell the book. Because you'll be
the, So when I self-publish, so you end up becoming, if you're self-publishing, you end up becoming the biggest buyer of your books.
Yeah, right, exactly, right, true. Yeah, I'm hoping that at least 3 people buy my book.
It'll be interesting to see how
No,
it
a lot of
goes.
people did actually. A lot of people pre-ordered it. We actually got reports from the publishers. A lot of people has already pre-ordered it, and thank you all for doing that. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. Ray, I'm not sure your question. You have a question online. When paying the homeowner's bills, do you recommend renting the house back to them? I'm not. Is she talking about a subject to deal? Ray, why don't you call in? 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. There you can ask your question because I'm not sure what your question is referring to.
Yeah, while you're at it, can I see the definition of hacks? I didn't have a chance to read it.
Yeah, Billy had Bill. I think Bill had the definition of hacks. Oh no, somebody else had it. Okay.
Okay, so hack TV series.
Well, that's a TV series. That's not what we're looking for.
When corruption charges strip him of his job, his family, and his pride, former cop Mike Oshansky forges a new identity as a Philadelphia cab driver patrolling the city. I remember that show.
Yeah, but that's not the word. That's not the word we're using now.
Yeah, we're looking for the definition.
Yeah, so you just wasted our time, Facebook user.
Yeah,
you
really.
Yeah, man.
I thought there was a definition there.
No, yeah, definitely not. All right, so what else we got, Phil?
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about private lenders and the reason that they're my favorite option.
Yeah, so why are they your favorite option?
Well, because ask yourself this. If you want to go to a bank, what's going to happen? They're going to want your tax returns. They're going to want your financials. They're going to want your bank statements. They're going to want everything under the sun. Your previous tax returns, every bank account that you've ever opened, they're going to want that. They're going to want a million things, and then they're going to have all these rules, which is going to take them 2 months to figure out whether or not they're going to lend you the money or not.
There you go.
Right? But when you borrow from a private lender, it's different. You're dealing with just one person. And that one person generally has a relationship with you. They already know who you are. And if you're a professional real estate investor like Larry and I are, then we already have a lot of credibility with that person. And we talk to them. We show them the deal. What they're interested in is the deal. How good is the deal? Is this a deal that's going to make plenty of money? Are these guys going to be able to pay me back? And even if these guys can't pay me back, the private lender may still be very interested just because of the fact that he could get the property.
Yeah, that's right. When you make the concept of private lending very attractive to the private lender, they're all over you. By the way, chapter 12. Look at chapter 12 of my book. You want to read the title? You can get it from the table of contents, or you can actually go to chapter 12, which is page 113.
Investing with other people's money.
Investing with other people's money. So there's an entire chapter on that book. So in my book.
Well, you should read some of it.
Well, I'll start with, okay. When I was younger, I used to watch shows late at night about investing with other people's money. I would think, I don't know if I can say this word, it's a load of beep. Who in the world would lend me money for a real estate deal, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that how you thought too when you were younger? Or no, your parents told you that you could?
Well, my mother was pretty savvy, and the story goes, I was watching a Carlton Sheets commercial with my mother. It was like an info commercial,
yeah, sure,
and her and I were watching it together. She was interested in it, and I was kind of just sitting in the room. And my mom, when the infomercial was over, my mom said, "What do you think, Phil? Do you think you could buy houses with none of your own money?" And I said, "How should I know? I'm 9 years old."
That's one of my favorite things. It's really, really funny. All right, here we go. Somebody on Facebook said, hack in the context you are using it refers to computer hacking, which describes the activities practiced by individuals, organizations, and nations in order to gain unauthorized access to computer and technology-dependent systems. That still doesn't fit the definition of the one I'm using on book. This is it. Like, you want to learn how to use money better than everyone else? I got 250 pages of how to hack money, how to use money the way everyone else doesn't use it.
Well, I hope I'm not destroying your book debut.
I know. Nobody wants to do it now, by the way.
But I even said this to you before. I said the hacks. Well, I don't get it. Like,
I know. The publisher said it was a good name. What can I tell you?
To me, a hack is like somebody who's pretending to be something that they're not.
Right.
That's
not what it is.
Okay.
No, it's actually I don't know the way they describe it now. The way they use it now is like again, it's how to tricks would be a great one, like money tricks,
Money tricks.
money knowledge, or something like that. Hey,
So-
we got Ray from Philly. What's going on, Ray?
Yeah, to clarify the question I asked, it was for to take if you're going to not take over somebody's mortgage, if you're going to pay their bills. Subject to, thank you. My brain's not working as far as memory. The subject to, would you recommend then re-renting the house back to them?
Never. So Phil and I
Never.
disagree on
Okay.
this. I will never rent a house. If I buy a house from a seller, I will never rent that house back to that seller under any circumstances. I just won't do it because I'm afraid of problems. I'm afraid that, first of all, if the seller was having trouble making the mortgage payment before, he's probably going to have trouble making the rent payment. So there may be some legal issues where the guy goes to court and says, this guy bought my house and promised me he was going to sell the house back to me, and that could be a problem. It could be he promised me I could stay in my house even though he's not paying the rent anymore and I'm evicting him now. So there's all these issues. I would sooner, if I buy the house from somebody and they want a place to live and I happen to have one open, I have no problem renting them another house because now it's a step away. Now it's an arm's length transaction. I have no problem with that, but I would never. I just personally will never rent to a house to somebody I bought it from. But Phil disagrees with me.
I wouldn't say I disagree with you. I have thought about renting to other sellers.
Sellers who sold you the house.
And
Right.
sellers who were selling me the house, I've thought about renting to them, but I had specific reasons why I thought that.
Right. I mean, sometimes
They
the
had-
guy needs to stay there a month or two. That's a little bit different. He just needs to stay a month or two because he needs to go. He's moving to Florida, and
Yeah, well, that happens a lot.
that's different. But I'm talking about somebody who's planning on staying there. Absolutely not.
Well, in a subject to deal, if you leave the seller there, boy, it seems like he has possession of your house, obviously.
Yeah.
And that gives him some more power in front of a judge.
Yeah,
And a judge who doesn't
dangerous.
understand, maybe there's a judge who doesn't understand subject to.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be ugly.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I would never do. By the way, now we got two definitions of hack online. Here we go. We've got a workaround, a way to do something more efficiently in a non-traditional method. There we go. That's the perfect
Okay.
definition.
That's
it.
a good definition.
And Joe says a shortcut. Perfect. Another perfect definition. There you
Okay,
go.
I like both of those.
By the way, everyone's saying online now. Lou's saying it's a great title. Hey, go, Lou. Wait till you get the book, man. You're gonna really like it. All right. Anyway, getting back to this, and we appreciate your call, Ray. Getting back to this, what else we got, Phil?
You want to talk about buying businesses as an investment?
It's very funny you should say that. I actually reached out. I was looking at Arita's water ice. Yeah. I saw one come across my desk the other day in an email. Somebody was selling a business of Rita's water ice. I'm like, you know what? And they didn't want a lot of money for it. I'm like, I'm interested in that. But you're buying what? You're buying the cash flow.
Yeah, I mean, I recently I often go on the business sites where they're selling businesses, business broker sites. Okay, and I recently saw Primo's, and
Primo's is a sub shop, right?
yeah, it's a sub shop. Yeah,
right.
and my father happens to love Primo's, so like my dad has a special sandwich I gotta buy him every time I go near Primo's. I bring him lots of Primo's hoagies, but the only thing I had a problem with was the fact that it was in Philly, and I didn't want to be driving into Philly every day. But the business looked like a good business. Now I was gonna figure I won't be working there anyway, but I'd have to go there a lot.
And you have to be vaccinated in order to go into the store. I mean, cut me a break, Philly.
Yeah, well, everything in Philly is more complicated.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder why. I wonder if that has anything to do with the leadership there.
You think?
Yeah.
You think like maybe the politicians who are running that city have made a series of mistakes for 30 years?
Yeah, the Nazikins.
I need a definition for that.
What, Nazikin?
Yeah.
It's taken. It's kind of mixing. Never mind.
Mexicans and
No, Nazi.
I heard the Nazi part.
N-A-Z-I-Kins.
I heard the Nazi part. All right.
All right. We just insulted everybody in Philly. They just turned their radio off.
So
All
we've looked at several investments to buy. Have you ever talked to that guy again? The one that we went and had a meeting about?
The tennis court.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he never called me back. I'm assuming they sold it to somebody else. But that was an interesting conversation. I actually liked it.
I think the ad is still up there.
Good. Well, we should reach out to him, see if we can still buy it.
We should.
Because by now, the guy might be a little more desperate and a little more interested in our terms.
Yeah, I'll tell you, last time I looked, which was maybe like 6 weeks ago, the ad was still running.
Yeah. So we felt that he was asking too much, and then we said, listen, we'll give you what you want, but we'll only give it to you if you finance it.
Well, it's a great surprise to sellers when they believe in their hearts and minds that their building is worth, let's just come up with an arbitrary number, they think their building is worth $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And with buildings, we are looking at the real numbers, and we're basing it off of what we can afford to pay every month. How much money is this business going to raise, and how much money can we afford to buy it for? And it's a very simple mathematical equation, and we come up with a number that may be nowhere near what he's looking for.
Yeah, when you're buying a business, if you're buying a business, it better cash flow right away, unless you're buying at a really, really low price and intend to build it up. You know, sometimes with a house, depending on the house, I'm going to tell you that I've only bought one house ever that didn't cash flow positive, but I missed it by $14 a month. And very quickly, that becomes $1,000 a month. So it's not a big deal. I actually knew what was going on. But if you want to call in, by the way, if you have any questions, 855-939-1137. Why don't we take a commercial break and do that? 855-939-1137, and we will see you on the other side of this commercial.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from InvestorSchooling.com. I'm inviting you to a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 p.m. I will teach you how to buy ugly houses and make them beautiful. As a bonus, we will also teach you stocks Thursday night, 215-876-3002, InvestorSchooling.com.
Hey everybody, it's Larry Sinus from InvestorSchooling.com. You heard my partner Phil Falcone tell you why you should be there this Thursday night to learn about real estate investing and learn about stock options trading. We're telling you right now, you will make more money than you've ever made in your entire life if you learn these two skills. This Thursday night at 7 o'clock, go to InvestorSchooling.com. Pull over right now, take out your phone and go to InvestorSchooling.com. RSVP right now, InvestorSchooling.com. See you Thursday.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from Suites. We're an executive suite center in Huntington Valley on Buck Road, 67 Buck Road, Huntington Valley. I'm sure you've driven past it. We're right in between Street Road and County Line Road. We have 47 offices in the prestigious address of Huntington Valley. I have offices starting at $595 a month. You're probably wondering, Phil, what do I get for $595 a month? Let me tell you. You get an office big enough for one person. You get the furniture in that office. You get the telephone on the desk. You get the telephone numbers. You get the fax numbers. You get 2 full-time receptionists to answer the phone in the name of your company and patch the calls to you. So if your company's ABC Painting Company, hey, ABC Painting Company, how can I help you? Would you like to talk to Bob? Let me get him on the phone. You could be home sleeping on your couch and I'll patch the calls right to you. What else do we give you? We give you the conference rooms. We give you the kitchen. We give you the mailboxes, the printer, the copier, the scanner, UPS service, you name it. All of the utilities, cleaning service, and best of all, we give you free coffee. Get yourself to Executech Suites. Phone number is 215-942-7701, 215-942-7701, executechsuites.com.
Hey, it's Larry Sinus from InvestorSchooling.com. Hey, listen, one of the things we teach at Investor Schooling is stock options. Did you know that you can make 50, 100, 150% returns every year trading stock options? Yes, I know there's risk, but I'm going to tell you right now that some of the things we teach will help you mitigate that risk. Could you imagine when you look at your return and it shows 100% returns? You will be really happy. Come to a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. You can RSVP at InvestorSchooling.com. Our headquarters are in Langhorne, and you will learn stock options trading. Of course, you will also learn real estate investing. Come to InvestorSchooling.com. We will see you there Thursday night. All right. Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I'm Larry Sinus. I'm here with Phil Falcone, and we are the founders of Investor Schooling. We teach you how to invest in real estate. We teach you how to invest in stock options. We teach you everything there is to know about money. You know, we've had some people that have actually learned how to save thousands every year in just their tax, how to actually do what the rich do and pay less taxes. By the way, if you want to call in, you can call in at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, and you can call us, ask us anything about money. We probably know the answer to it because Phil and I really like money. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't understand why I like it. I just like it.
I don't know. I like to look at it, too.
I'll tell you about this school. It's a special place to get a financial education. Let's go back to 2020. So in 2020, when COVID came in and everybody was crying the blues, you know what he was doing? He was hacking the SBA loan program, figuring out how to get the loans, right? He got a bunch of loans for investor schooling. Then for our business, right? Then he went out and taught all of our how to get SBA loans for everything under the sun, including their own, just using even if you didn't have a business.
Well, no, you had to have a business.
That's not true.
Well, that's actually, you're right. That's true.
I got money from just a social security number.
Right. You had to have a business. It didn't have to be an LLC. It had to be some type of business. Like it could have been, I don't know, whatever. But it had to be a business.
Okay, it had to be a business.
I mean, look, my wife does notary, so she got some money on that. I mean, but yeah, you definitely had to have some kind of business, or.
Well, some of the students at the school made some real nice money.
Yeah, it's not that they made money; they were able to borrow money at a really low rate, and they were able to use that money for their business. And some of their businesses were buying houses, and that's a legitimate business. So buying houses, legitimate business. They were able to buy houses and make money off of that money. And at 3.75% interest rate for 30 years, it's incredible. How could you go wrong with that? And then you also the PPP loans. If you had payroll, if you're paying anybody, even if you're paying them as a contractor, you're able to get the PPP loans. So these are all ways that you were able to get money. And we taught how to do that. We also teach people how to hack their credit cards, right? How to make money on using their credit cards.
Boy, I haven't used the word hack in my whole life.
I know.
And this is like 5 times today.
Until today, I only used it for my book because the publisher said, I got a really good name for your book called Money House. I'm like, Money Hacks, really? He goes, yeah, it's a great name. I'm like, all right, that's fine, call it that.
Tell us about a credit card hack.
So a lot of people, you guys get these checks, these 0% interest checks. You could buy houses with those checks. It amazes me. We actually teach people how to buy houses with their credit cards, not just with those checks, but you can actually use the credit card. You can actually, what a lot of people do is they have a PayPal account with a business, and they can actually charge themselves, let's say they charge themselves $10,000, then it goes to PayPal, and you can take that money out, you can withdraw it, and you can use that to buy a house. We had one student, Bill, who actually, he bought a house in Philly. He bought it with hard money, and he needed I think it was $25,000 down payment. I don't remember exactly what it was. He got all of it from credit cards, actually. He basically, between credit cards and hard money, he bought the property with zero money out of his pocket. Then 3 months later, when the property was completely renovated, which, by the way, he renovated it using other credit cards, so he used the other credit cards to pay them, to pay the contractors. When he was all done, he sold the property, he paid back the credit card companies, he paid back the hard money lender, and he made about $35,000 out of thin air.
But Larry, credit cards charge high interest rates.
Oh, no. So the funny part is a lot of people get 0% credit cards, or they get low interest rate currently, but I don't really care. So I have a question for you guys out in the audience. Would you buy a house with 25% interest rate? And mostly people are saying, what do you think they're saying right now, Phil?
Well, I think if there are students, they're certainly saying yes.
Yeah, but most people would say no. I would never.
Most people would say no.
It's funny how, interest rates are rising, from 3.5% to 4.5%. And they're like, oh, no, I don't know if I want to buy a house because it's going from 3.5 to 4.5. I buy houses sometimes with 24% interest rates. And that's on a credit card. Now, it's very rare that I do that, but I'll buy a house with 24% interest rate. But why do I not care if I'm paying 24% interest rate, Phil?
Because you made $35,000 off that deal.
Right, for free, right. Exactly. I don't care how much money I pay somebody else to make me money. It doesn't matter to me. As long as in the end I'm going to make money, it's going to be positive, either positive cash flow, or I'm going to make money on my investment.
So let's talk about if you're the best musician in the band, you need to find a new band.
Yeah, that was an interesting statement.
Mm-hmm. This is my way of telling you I'm quitting.
Well, so I thought you wanted to find somebody smarter than you.
Well, that's what, you know.
So you can only find people dumber than you if you leave me.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So I met this real estate agent on the plane when I was flying out to Phoenix. I went to Sedona last week for my anniversary, and I flew out to Phoenix. I met this real estate agent. I said, what's going on with the market here? And he told me that 300,000 people have moved to Phoenix in the last year.
And they all came from California.
Yeah, probably all of them. Where else would they come from?
Yeah, exactly.
So see how, you know, you're going to tax the hell out of your constituents, and look what happens. So 300,000 is not a small amount of people.
No.
That is a big number.
Yeah.
And, of course, the real estate market is on fire there because now all the rents are going up, all the values are going up, you name it.
So what does that have to do with the band?
Nothing.
You just happen to change topics just like that?
Yeah, I'm capable of doing that, you know. I'm smart enough to change topics.
Well, you know,
go back to them.
We should spend just a little bit of time on each topic.
Okay, well, go ahead. Feel free to talk all you want about it.
It's your topic.
Yeah, well, just
you made it up. You talk about it.
Because I wrote the script doesn't mean I actually thought about it.
Well, you need to think about it.
Okay. Well, really, if you want to talk about something that needs to be thought about, it's just
no, you can.
It's the word hacks.
You can plug my book again. Go ahead.
Hacks keeps irking me, you know.
Hey, wait. While you're talking about the word hacks, I'm at least going to put the book up on a camera so somebody can see. So somebody can at least see the book and order it, right? Because why not? I might as well use this moment.
Move it over a little bit.
This way.
Perfect.
All right. So there you go. So this way people can see the book, all right? So they can see the book now, so they can order it.
I like the book. I like the colors. I like the flat feeling of the cover.
Right.
I like the colors that you used. I just don't understand the title.
This is the more important part about the title, is the bottom of the book.
As a millennial, it's a great title.
See that? He says it's a great title.
Seriously, it is.
So do I really want millennials buying my book, though?
I guess their money is as green as anybody else's.
That's true. And here, you can't really see the bottom of the book. I guess it's hard to read it. But again, it's because everything you think you know about money is wrong. By the way, my favorite question to ask people. Ready? Online. So somebody call me up and answer this question. None of my students. Somebody call me up and answer this question. Somebody listen to the radio. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. Here's the question. What color is money? What color is money? That's the question. So somebody call up, 855-939-1137. Answer the question. All right, go ahead, Phil. It'll take them a little while before they call.
Okay.
If they call at all, you know. Because at this new time, because people are waiting for us at 2 o'clock, and at this time at 10 o'clock, nobody knows we're on the air.
So I haven't done any research on this topic, but I am under the assumption that rents in Philly are going sky high.
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
But even in Philly.
Yeah, I've actually looked at some rents. I mean, some people are telling me they're getting rents for stuff. Now, it's funny because I'm getting rents for stuff that I can't believe, and then other people are telling me they're getting rents for stuff that I can't believe that either. I mean, the best was when I rented a place in Pottstown, and, you know, it is what it is. But I rented a place in Pottstown, and when I bought the property, I had to fix it up, and I intended to rent it out at $13.50 because that was the going rent rate in the area. And I decided to put it up for $18.95, and somebody said and somebody actually came to me like, that's really, really high rent for the area. I said, would you take $1,800? And I said, okay.
Yeah. So I have my famous tenants who rented my East Norriton house.
Yeah.
Right, the subject to deal with the crazy seller who was dogging me for a while. He finally stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ghosted him, and that did the trick.
Yeah.
But they just sent me a notice that they're leaving at the end of the first year. Right?
Okay.
So, but I have no fears.
And you rented it for what, $2,400?
$2,400.
Yeah, you'll probably get $2,400 to $3,000 now.
Well, what I liked about them was that they always paid the rent late. Always.
Oh, yeah.
They were a month late every single time.
Wow, that's rough.
I have a 10% late fee.
Ooh.
So I was getting $240 extra. So
Wow.
instead of getting $2,400 a month, I was getting like $2,650.
No wonder they're leaving.
Well, I
But
called
they-
them. I called them
it's
because
all
I was
right.
going to try to work like a deal with him
Mhm.
and tell him, maybe I'll cut you some slack or something. But he hasn't called me back.
So somebody online answered the question. They said green. But I'm going to let everybody else answer. 855-939-1137. What color is money? 855-939-1137. I'm not saying if you're right or you're wrong yet. All right. Anyway, what else, Phil?
What else?
I asked you first.
Let's see. I think we've covered almost every topic.
Well, we still have 12 minutes left of the show.
Well, we could talk about the questions that were emailed into us.
Let's talk about the questions that we emailed.
The first question we've answered a bunch of times in the past. Should I get a real estate license?
Why not get into that? That's a really good question.
But the other question was better.
Which one?
The other question was, should I work as an agent?
Should you work? I mean, in other words, if you have a real estate license, should you use it as a license?
Okay, so you could be a real estate... I think what they mean is, look, hey, I could be a real estate investor. Should I get my license? Absolutely, you should
Yes.
get your license.
Yeah. Well, why don't we explain why they should get their license first? So some of the benefits of getting a license is one of the most important ones is access to the MLS. So you can actually get access to the MLS, and you can of course look up comps and look up owners' names. So that's a great reason. The other reason is also because, hey, you might find a deal that you buy and you get a commission to buy a house. I mean, we do that all the time. We not all, we buy a house that happens to be on the MLS, or somebody actually comes to us and says, hey, they even want to sell their investment property. Hey, I could list it and make a couple extra bucks. I am not. It's funny. We have a brokerage. It's called the Investor Brokerage, and we pay 100% commission. We don't make any money on this brokerage. Actually, sometimes it's even a liability. But the reason we do it is we want to do it so we can run our own deals through it, and so the students can run their deals through it too. So a student comes to us and they become a real estate investor, and they want to be able to list their properties. Let's say a wholesale property on the MLS. We suggest they get a real estate license. And if they get a real estate license, then they can list it on the MLS, and they won't have to pay any commissions to themselves.
Certainly, if you're buying houses for a living, having a real estate license is invaluable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then you said, should they work as a real estate agent, correct?
Yes.
Well, so that's really a personal choice. I mean, I know a lot of I know some really high-level real estate agents making $200,000 to $500,000 a year. Now, these are really high-level guys. I'm going to tell you, though, this is not a job. It's a business. If you're a real estate agent, if you think it's a job and you think you're going to answer phones and get calls and list properties, don't waste your time. You will make $30,000 to $50,000 a year if you're lucky. If you're going to run it like a business, you're going to market your business. You ever notice that they have billboards on 95? They have billboards. Some people have billboards on 95. Other people have other things on 95, right? These are the people who are new letters every day. Hey, we got Carl. What's going on, Carl?
Hey, what's up, Blair?
What's happening? Oh, you're a
I just
student.
want to
You know
answer
the
your
answer.
question.
You know the answer.
Yeah,
What color is
blue.
money?
Blue.
Blue. Everybody take a $100 bill out of your pocket, and you will see that money is blue, not green. So, like I said before, everything you think you know about money is wrong. Hey, Carl, you're a brand new student. What do you think so far?
Oh, I'm liking everything. I tell you, if nothing else, in the beginning, you're a little confused. You're like that deer in the headlights because it's such a vast amount of knowledge that you got to kind of get in your head. But as you keep coming, and every single time, there's less of that deer in the headlight thing. And one day, that light bulb's going to come on, like the Oprah thing, the light bulb moment. And that's what I really like about, your classes.
That's
And
awesome.
the other thing, I just wanted to see how Phil's doing after his little operation.
Well, I won't be
You doing
dancing
all right?
anytime soon.
Well, I know, but you timed it out right because you went to Arizona first and then had it, correct?
Yeah, I came home from Arizona, and the next day I went into surgery. And,
Yeah. How was it out there? Because my sister she lived in a place called Buckeye, which isn't too far from, it's right out east of Phoenix.
Well, there's a video on my Facebook page
If you ever heard of it.
that I took of Sedona, and it's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Oh, okay.
You've watched
Right,
that video.
right.
I took a helicopter ride all around the town and filmed the whole thing.
So, Carl, we'll see you on Monday. We got to run. We got to grab Mary Jane, who's also on the line.
Okay. All right, buddy.
See you, Carl. What's going on,
All right.
Mary Jane?
Hi, Larry. I want to know, why is the color blue for money
It is blue.
and not green?
That's right. It's amazing.
I know.
Most people don't know that.
I don't see that.
You don't see that
And,
as blue? Take out a $100 bill. It's blue.
No.
You don't have a $100 bill?
Okay.
If you don't have a $100
And
bill, you need
what
to come to Investor
about
Schooling to learn how to have a
Phoenix?
$100
What
bill
was
in your
the-
wallet at all times.
What was the bottom line about Arizona? That everybody should go out there and buy, or what? What was the point?
Asking a local realtor what was going on in the market. And he explained to me that 300,000 people have moved to Phoenix in 2021. That's what he was
Right.
explaining to me. So, there you go.
Where do you live, Mary
Right.
Jane?
Flower Town.
In Flowertown.
Oh, so if you're in Flower Town,
Yeah.
would you like to see beautiful?
does
Would you like to
that-
have warm weather instead of this weather that we're having right now?
Yes.
Move
yes.
to Sedona.
Yes.
Sedona's not that warm. It is,
I'm going to California next month. Yeah.
Oh,
you're going to California.
I hope you're not
that'd
moving
be
there.
fun. Yeah.
You're
No,
moving to California?
Lord, no.
You must be rich.
No, but
'cause
my
you can afford all those
children did,
taxes.
so I'm going to go see them. I know. Well, I wouldn't live there, but they're living there, so I'll go see them and visit the
I
grandchildren.
bet you out of those 300,000 people that moved to Phoenix, 300,000 of them came from California.
Really? So, Mary Jane, we have to run. We have to go to the next
Yeah.
segment.
No, I agree.
We have to go to the next segment. We
Okay.
appreciate your call. Thanks so much. All right, we're gonna have to go right here to the stock option consultant because we're running out of time.
Stock option sorting. Stock option sorting.
Joe wants to know if you're leaving the band. All right, so this was another crazy week. Facebook. Whoa! Did you see what happened to Facebook, Phil? Were you off your drugs long enough to see what happened on Facebook?
I was too drugged up there.
Yeah, I figured that, right? It was probably a really good thing, especially if you were holding Facebook, because Facebook dropped 100 points. 100 points. Now, so I actually, like I've said this before on my other show as well, I actually believe that was unwarranted. I mean, Facebook, yes, it should have dropped. They did not hit earnings. This is the first time I've ever seen Facebook not hit earnings. They didn't hit earnings, and the metaverse, which I actually thought was going to drive them forward, actually pulled them back. So Zuckerberg's fascination with the metaverse actually pulled the company back. Remember, the company is no longer Facebook; it's now Meta, and he's not only has Facebook. Facebook's a division of Meta, and that was the problem. Of course, the division Facebook didn't do as well as normal, but Facebook probably itself didn't need to be beat up. But when you add Meta in there, it really destroyed the stock, and as well as the new iPhone settings. Zuckerberg is expecting that to be a $10 billion hit.
Yeah, I heard about that. I did hear about that part.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that either.
So is Meta a separate company?
No, Meta is now the mother company owning Facebook, which, by the way, the Facebook FB symbol is going to be changing to Meta. But it's interesting because there's another company with that symbol, so I'm wondering if they're buying that symbol from the company. I wouldn't be surprised if Zuckerberg just walk into that company. So I either own your company now, or I own your name. Here's a big check for it, because why wouldn't he do it? I also see a lot of people on Facebook saying how they're all, Zuckerberg just lost $250 billion. Let me just assure you all one thing. He didn't notice. So just think about that. He lost $250 billion, and the next day he didn't even notice. So that's a pretty good place to be if you want to be in that place. I mean, I've lost $100,000. I've lost $200,000 sometimes on really bad decisions, and that doesn't really affect my lifestyle either. Yeah, it kind of stinks, but it didn't affect my lifestyle either. So when you learn how to do that, it's pretty cool. All right, so a couple other things. The weird part was Snap. Snap blew away earnings. So now we have Facebook not making earnings and Snap blowing away earnings. It was like a bizarro world. Where Snap went up over 50% yesterday. What a great play that was. And then we have Twitter's earnings. I believe it's on the 7th, which is this week. We're going to have to see what Twitter does. I wouldn't be surprised if Twitter blows away their earnings too, but I have no idea. I don't know. I can't even tell you what's going to happen. But I did notice that Facebook, of course, destroyed they did destroy the stock market on Thursday, but on Friday it came back. The Nasdaq was up 219 points on Friday, and when it ended, so that wasn't too bad. And the Dow was only down a little bit, so it actually wasn't that bad. I'm confused because January is usually a good month, and January is not a good month. February is usually a bad month, and February might be starting out to be a good month. I don't know. The stock market has got me baffled once again. The stock market is like a woman.
You didn't buy more Facebook on Friday?
I did, and it's not a good play. Anyway, we got about 60 seconds left, Phil.
Okay.
What should I cover in
Give us any play that you think would work.
I got a good play for you. I like the covered calls on Uber. I like the covered calls on Lyft. I like covered calls on AT&T. The symbol is T. They just cut their dividend in half, which I think will make it a really good covered call play, especially with the stock hovering around 24. So I think that's actually a really good play. I like it. Uber, again, like I said, is also a good play. Uber's going to do really well. Anyway, why don't you start us out or close us out?
All right, so if you're shy and you want to email us your questions, you can always email them at info@investorschooling.com, info@investorschooling.com. If you want to call us and talk to us about coming to the school, you can just dial 855-939-1137. Don't worry about that being the phone number for us. You just call it, and we'll see you Thursday night at 7 o'clock.